Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to the 3POA podcast, episode 18. I am your host, Laserpants, also known as Ryan. It has been a while. Seems like it's been forever. Haven't seen Bobby and Tony since Joefest. Haven't seen Bobby on a stream since, like, April? But we're back tonight. Hell yeah. I am joined, as always, by my good friend and yours, the man known as Desert Rat, the guy behind Analog Toys, Mr. Tony Roberts. What's up, buddy?
Not a lot, man. Who's Bobby?
Some dude.
I thought we were changing this to the 2POA, but no, I'm really excited to be back, man. I haven't been this excited for a 3POA since the last 3POA, but seriously, it's we obviously had a bit of a break over Joefest. It's just great to be back. But I'm going to stop talking so you can bring in my good buddy Bobby.
All right. We are also joined by our good buddy Bobby from Valaverse. Oh,
you guys are dickheads. Hasn't been
you were frozen then.
I missed 2 shows, and all of a sudden, like I'm the outcast, like I'm not running a company here for your pleasure.
And I received a lot of pleasure lately from you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Running the company is one thing, Bobby, but there was another show you missed because it was your birthday. Like, that's just not on, man.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I mean, that's fine. And then there was Iconicon.
I was so busy, I didn't even remember it was my birthday. Iconicon, and what else happened? Something else was in there too. Who knows? The birth of a kid, something like that.
Wait, you had a kid?
No. There are no more kids coming out of this guy.
Oh man, I was going to say.
No, that's code for the the release of the Desert Rat action figure. Bobby just gave birth to another kid.
Exactly. All these figures are my children.
Well, it's nice to see you guys back on this computer screen for another show. And this is our first show since the three of us, since we got 1,000 subscribers.
Damn straight.
We have rocketed past 1,000.
Shit.
We are at 1,070, I think.
All right.
So that's not too bad. Speaking of which,
so this is the first 3POA that I'm on and Bobby's on with Super Chats.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And speaking of Super Chats, we got one right here. Articulated Chad. Now, we met him at Joefest. Really cool guy.
Awesome guy.
Dressed up like a Cobra Trooper. His lady was dressed up like Baroness. Thank you very much, Articulated Chad. He says, because you're all awesome guys and for your amazing showing at Joefest, i.e. crushing the whole event. We had to rename it to VALACON.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was like a Valaverse event. I don't remember how... I remember a lot of Action Force shirts walking around that place.
I do. I remember. Yeah. It was pretty awesome. Listen, not just shirts, but like families with shirts. Like it was, there were several families that were all rocking Action Force shirts.
Yeah,
Yep.
the mom, the dad, the
Mhm.
teenage kids, the babies, everything.
Yeah, the thumbnail for this video is Bobby holding the baby in the Action Force shirt. I put the baby face emoji over it because not my kid, right? But then she reached out to us and she was like, show the picture. So I might bring that up later, but I figured
the picture is in my video, like recap of my trip to the States. So
there you go.
Yeah.
And everyone should watch that. That was an excellent recap.
Yeah,
video.
it was a fantastic video. I watched it twice.
Yep.
Did it make you cry?
That one made me cry a little bit. Maybe not cry. I definitely maybe like choked up a little bit at the end, you know, when your head was between my legs, but that was about it.
Yeah, well, you know, out of the two of you on the screen here, Ryan's the only one that I kissed on the mouth when I was in the United States.
I was jealous about that. I was real jealous.
That was horrible.
Well,
that was horrible.
It wasn't really on the mouth.
It was horrible for me, bro. Your
I don't know
beard
why you
is
did
like,
it.
It might
said,
look
what's
good
going
on camera, but when you touch it, it's like pubes. I thought I was kissing that puppet in Team America, you know,
like
Durka Durka Muhammad Yard. That one.
It's very much like pubes.
Oh,
Drew G says, VALACON 2023. Why is this going so slow? Need a new computer.
Hey, while you mentioned Drew G there, I want to do a shout out to Drew G. He was such an awesome guy. It's one of those things when I kind of wrote the script for my recap video and then put the video together. After it was published, I was like, man, there were so many other people I wish I had mentioned. And Drew G was one of them. He was an awesome guy. He gave me a lift back to Michael and Melinda's house after the dinner at the in-person meetup. And yeah, and Wolfie 762 was another one I didn't mention but wish I had done. So guys, because I didn't mention you in the video, it's hard for me to remember all this stuff, but I really do appreciate meeting all of you. You were awesome people, and I hope to meet you again next year.
I did a Laser Pants live with Jeremy Jernigan last week, and I'm getting some feedback from someone.
Huh?
Who?
I think
Me?
it's Bobby.
Oh shit!
It's okay. Anyway, speaking of Drew G, I forgot to mention this. He did send me out this Cyberfrog comic, Cyberfrog #1. He told me at the show he's going to give it to me, and then he mailed it to me. He actually gave me Cyberfrog #3 at the show, and then he shipped #1 off to me. So thank you very much, Drew G. It was fun hanging out with you, having a couple beers. He bought me a couple beers and a burger at the Iconicon meetup at the dinner we went to. Yeah, Drew G is awesome. An amazing collection. Everyone should follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, his collection's great. Is that a rare one? That Cyberfrog #1?
This one, not so much. There are others. I mean, there's several Cyberfrog #1s.
Oh, okay. It's not like Ninja Turtles #1 kind of.
No,
shit.
not right now. Maybe one day.
Got it.
But yeah. Anyway, we are getting loaded with super chats here, so let's get to some of those. Tony Robles, thank you very much. He says, first paycheck of the new job to some of my favorite fellas. Cheers, boys. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
And we got a world made of cardboard. Thank you very much. Love seeing you guys having fun at Joefest and Iconicon, but I must ask, Steven Seagal?
Yeah,
really?
Man. I want to have a street fight with Steven Seagal at VALACON 2023. We'll sell tickets, and I will kick the shit out of that.
Wait, what happened with Steven Seagal? Did I miss something?
So during Iconicon, we did a celebrity deathmatch thing on Endless Bullets.
Okay.
And so for the 70s, it was Charles Bronson versus Chuck Norris, and Matt Swafford had pulled all of this data, like box office and from a certain period, and then
Gotcha.
And then it was, I think, Lundgren and Wesley Snipes, and then Van Damme and Seagal, and the overall winner of the whole lot, Steven Seagal, was the biggest action He had the biggest box office numbers, all Rotten Tomatoes scores, all this stuff.
Seriously?
Wow.
Yeah, he beat Charles Bronson, Chuck Norris, Dolph Lundgren, Wesley Snipes, and Van Damme.
That's surprising. I would have thought Wesley Snipes and Van Damme would be up there. Then again, Steven Seagal was in a shit ton of movies.
Yeah, and Under Siege made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right.
Well, come on, Street Fighter didn't make $1 billion?
No, not that one. DZW75, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, is there a possibility for battle damaged / injuries for Action Force figures? Maybe a Condor with cuts and bruises, etc. Could be an accessory pack.
We are going to see how the Bloody Pandora does. And if that figure does very well, we will look into battle damage stuff. I know when I was at Hasbro, doing battle damage was kind of like a weird thing because in the past, battle damage hadn't sold. And then it's like, you know, we did a few, like we sprinkled out some battle damage like Iron Man's and things like that. And they did like okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, battle damage figures aren't huge sellers. So you got to be careful with the ones you do.
All right. Thank you, DZW75. Bradley Bendel. Thank you very much. He says, first super chat ever. 3 POA faux life. How did
I don't know about for life. When does my contract run out, Ryan? I need to get out of here.
Faux life? Like that? Okay. For losers? I don't know. Thank you, Bradley. Rick Shattered Glass Jazz.
What's up, Rick? Rick was
Thank
it
you
was
very
great
much.
meeting Rick.
Yep.
I met Rick at Joefest as well. Great. He was there with the whole family. It was good to meet him.
Very good to meet him. He says, let's go. Saturday night. It's time for action. Great seeing you guys at Joefest. Great panel. What a great convention. Do you want to touch on that panel a little bit, Bobby? That was a lot of fun. It was definitely for me as just a viewer because I didn't know what was going to be announced.
Mm. Yeah,
it was way higher energy than last year. It was like people were like,
yeah. You know, I think it's kind of, I think our kind of crowd overall is a little more shy and reserved. But I said this year, I said I wanted to get there. I wanted to get everyone excited. I wanted to get like that energy, high energy up. So I came in there and started getting real rowdy right off the bat. But then, you know, the reveals that we had, you know, just took it up a notch. So you already had like that high energy. And I think we were the only panel that filled that room. And we had every seat taken up and then people along the sides. So, you know, I mean, I didn't see every panel, but I saw a good amount of them. And we were definitely the only ones with a full room. And we were definitely the loudest. When my buddy Mike was working the booth. Yeah, when my buddy Mike was working the booth, he said I could hear you guys up there, you know, yelling and screaming.
And bear in mind, the Valaverse booth is like right on the other side of the convention floor.
Yeah, the furthest point from where the panel was. So that was really cool. And yeah, we had a lot of great reveals. We announced Scott, our director for the movie, which was huge to actually, you know, announce that. We started signing a bunch of big name talent. The script is in the hands of some really, really big name talent right now. Nice. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get some LOIs signed this week. An LOI is a letter of intent. So every actor and actress will sign like a letter of intent to say that they're you know, that they're officially part of the movie, and then they'll sign an official contract once you know, the studio gets locked in and stuff. So you use LOIs when you help sign deals with the studio. So there are some big names that I think are going to make having studios fight over it very possible. So
awesome. Wow.
Real quick before I forget, because this is on topic here with talk about Bobby's panel and everything. I may be wrong, Bobby, but I think since the panel, obviously the Infantry Commando went up for pre-order on Dorkside, the exclusive, and you've shared images of Bloody Pandora on social media.
Yep.
I haven't seen any of the other images. Are you going to be sharing?
Yeah, I just know what it is.
Daniel Kelly's figure and stuff, because
you know what it is. The Action Force fans are so rabid, and there's so many orders coming in on a daily basis because everyone wants Action Force stuff. that I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and do social media stuff, which is why there's been a lull in social media stuff. But
I just thought you were a massive tease.
What was that?
I just thought you were a massive tease.
Well, I'm not trying to purposely be a tease. I would love for there to be a post every day, but sometimes you can't get to it every day. But this week, we've gotten the orders to the point where people are coming in and helping me fulfill the orders. But we got ahead of them. I mean, they're still coming. I was in, this afternoon on a Saturday doing orders. So it just goes to show you how many we're getting. But this week, there's a lot of things that I have to address, and I'm going to be, posting some stuff on social media. We've got some updates on the deadline for the pre-orders for Series 3 coming up. Some other stuff maybe coming up. Maybe a new pre-order for the Special Deployment Series coming up. So lots of things coming in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be big.
All right. Let's get back to some super chats here because there's a lot. Thank you very much, guys, for your generosity. Jim Largo, thank you. He says, BBTS exclusive Night Op Steel Brigade arrived and shipped. Gonna need a bigger shelf. Same here. I shipped mine Friday. Hit my pile of loot. I was like, ship that pile of loot, man.
Nice.
Yep.
So that's my first ever experience pretty much pre-ordering anything where obviously I've pre-ordered from the Valaverse website, but you pay up front. This is my first time experience. So I placed my pre-order, when it was announced, 3 figures. And I just woke up yesterday morning going, $100 has come out of my bank account. Shit. Post Joefest, that was not good timing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jim. And then Jedi Hunter 83, thank you very much. He says, glad you're back, fellas. Hope you all had a great 4th of us. 4th of July and VALACON celebration. Let's hear about the heat gun shenanigans. Cheers from Arizona. I forgot my heat gun. No heat gun shenanigans. Thank you very much for the super chat. We got a super chat from Happy Accident. Thank you very much. He says, I'm opening 6 Valaverse packages during this stream. That sounds like a good, very good Saturday night. Thank you very much, Happy Accident. M. Vargo 97. We got to meet him.
Sure did.
At Joefest and Iconicon meetup.
M. Vargo, man, he was another great. Yeah, he went to the Iconicon meetup. I've got some nice, some good photos of me and him from the professional photographer and everything. He was also a quite a big spender at the Valaverse booth. He wanted all the prototypes and everything. So thanks for supporting the line, my man. We all appreciate it.
Great.
I was surprised how deep the pocket some of the Action Force fans are, man. Because I was like,
yeah.
What? How many do you want? What's okay? Let me grab that for you. I'm like, dang. But very passionate. Thank you, M. Vargo. And then we got Jimmy Purvis. Thank you very much. He says, Ryan, thanks for picking my order at Joefest. And of course, Bobby for making it possible, and Tony for signing my Desert Rat. You're welcome.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Jimmy. And then we got Skyfall. Thank you very much. He says, but Bobby, when will we see a vehicle reveal?
We'll see. We'll see. I've been working on the vehicle for months now. But now that, we're going to talk about it later, but, a new vehicle hit and it added some more sort of research to my folder as we're working on this vehicle concept. So a lot of moving parts.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Skyfall. And this totally jumped. Okay. Keith Knight. Thank you very much. He says, great to see you 3 hunks back on the tubes. My desert rats have been dispatched. So excited. Keith, it must be really late for you, man. Must be like...
Keith is nocturnal. But yeah, everyone in the UK is getting their Toys R Us shipping note. In fact, I've seen on Instagram a couple of people in the UK have actually got their figures in hand already from Toys R Us. Dan Who said that he had his shipping notification, so he's expecting them this week. So I'm interested to see some of the British YouTubers get some reviews of the figures out there. So
very nice,
man. It's nice when when my vendors go with expedited shipping. So
yep, works out better for the fans.
Works out better for the fans.
Thank you, Keith, very much. Put that truncheon to use, okay? And then Skyfall again, thank you very much. He says, by the way, I saw an Action Force review on Mad Hatter Reviews. Cheers. Thanks, man.
I don't know that channel. I'll have to check it out. Me
neither. Never heard of it.
I hope it's a good one.
Let's see here. And then we got Robert Diaz. Okay, and then we'll get into some His Tank talk. Robert Diaz. There it is. Bobby should get the Metal Gear license. I think he would do it justice. That would be pretty cool.
It's a good one.
Yep.
It's a good one. When I'm not a gamer, I don't play video games. I don't own any systems, so I don't know. Have they had a game out recently? Like, is it still a relevant property?
I think semi recently. I know like Solid Snake, he like ended up getting old or something. He's like, I don't know. Well, I think the only thing Solid Snake that's come out recently has been all like third party, kind of like bootleg type figures. Gotcha. I think I might be wrong. Thank you, Robert. And we are all caught up on super chats. And Tony took off for a second. Looks like. All right, so the talk of the town has been the classified Haslab, His Tank. Now, Bobby, I don't know how closely you've been following this thing. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks really good, honestly.
Listen, we talked about it. I'm pretty sure it was on our show where I said that, I think the reason why Classified and Action Force are mingling so well in the toy community is because we hit the beats that people are looking for. Action Force has modern, Classified has nostalgia. So they course corrected the right way. We've talked about that many times on previous shows, how they course corrected and they started doing everything right. And the stuff that they've been putting out is fantastic. I've been loving everything since, I'm trying to remember when they kind of course corrected.
It was like mid. Well, I think the figures got better late 2020.
It was like Zartan. Zartan kind of did it for me. Zartan came out and I was like, boom, I'm kind of sold. But there was no direction they could have gone in other than nostalgia for the His Tank. Now they came out with a His Tank in the Pursuit of Cobra line that like stood up and it had a cooler, sleeker design. It was more updated. The treads were nicer. It would have been nice for them to do something a little more Pursuit of Cobra-esque, but at the same time, the His Tank, while I don't love the His Tank, like I have all the vintage ones, but I was never crazy about it as a kid and even as an adult. It never, it never did anything like I'd say like the Mauler did, or some other vehicles that size.
So for someone like me who's not like the biggest G.I. Joe fan, what exactly is the Mauler?
The Mauler's a tank. It was a G.I. Joe tank. It was tan. It was slightly bigger than the His Tank, but I would say that I like the Vamp. If they did a Vamp, I think the Vamp would have been good. But at the same time, I think the His Tank was kind of the right choice. It's nostalgic, and it just goes to show you that, when I was on Marvel, it's like it was all about the heroes. Iron Man, Captain America, making sure they were 2 per case, that sort of thing. Villains you couldn't do a lot of. But then it's like their first vehicle is for the villains. That was a risky move, but like a very good move. So definitely the smart thing to do. Now, when this came out, I saw it and I saw the price tag and I was like, ooh, that's too high. Because I looked at it and I saw, okay, well, I'm not crazy about the electronics. I think everything else about it is fantastic. But when you put electronics into something, it takes up real estate that could better be served for adding storage or another figure. And it's like the electronics I felt weren't needed. It's like, okay, for some figure photography, but you're not going to like put this on and leave it on your shelf because it doesn't have, a USB cable. So you're just going to eat through batteries all the time, which this should have a USB cable. So you can just charge it and leave it on. But the Cobra emblem shining down, I there's really no need for it. I would have rather seen the electronics pulled out and have the price drop down, or take the electronics out and you want to leave it at 300, add more to it. But coming out, I said, "Ooh, that price is too high." Especially, we saw the $400 Thunder Tank, and you don't get much with that. But then you see things like NECA doing the Turtle Wagon that came with a ton of stuff and looked great. And I think it was $200 or like $175. It was really low.
I think it was $250.
$250. Okay, but still $250. So I looked at this and I said, this thing should be between $200 and $250 just by like looking at it. But take out the electronics, and I think you're still in that point. Adding the electronics doesn't make it $300. I just think 300 is now that Haslab sweet spot.
Yep.
They've seen what sells at what price points, and they're like, all right, this is it. Now, the Proton Pack was an anomaly, but that's also because Ghostbusters fans don't get a lot. So it was like they got something and they jumped on it. We saw 2 Star Wars fail in a row, which we're going to talk about. But like this, I'm just like, ooh. Now the Sky Striker didn't fun right away. But then this came out and was just like fireworks. And I like the toy industry because trends always change. And I'm always learning. And I like being proven wrong on things, because this came out and I was just like, that's too high. We'll see what it does. But then all of a sudden people are just like, I don't give a shit about that price tag. And it's like, there are times where, you put out the right item and it doesn't matter what the price is, people want it. And this was the right item. I think if they would have done a Vamp or an Ostriker, I wonder if it would have done the numbers this is currently doing, because this is just crushing it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is because I've never been able to get this answer, and Hasbro will never say it. So it says backers, how many backers it needed. What did it need? 8,000 backers?
8,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
8,000. 8,000 backers. Now, they say backers, but I don't think they're accurate. Like, I'm not saying the numbers. I'm saying when they say backers, they mean units. Because what is it up to now? It's up to like 15,000?
16.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, if one person buys 5, does that register as 5
that registers as 5 backers.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm wrong, that's crazy, because when Daryl and I were on the brand, we had a bunch of research that showed us how many G.I. Joe fans there actually are. And there weren't 15,000. So
look at this.
And that's and that's the other thing that I want. I'm going to get to that. And sorry, I'm like monopolizing the conversation.
That's okay.
But there's a bunch of points that I wanted to get to with that. But I think backers means units. I don't think it's actual backers.
Yeah. I mean, you have to consider, since you and Daryl were there, the 6-inch action figure market has blown up. And there's people that have jumped on a G.I. Joe just for classified. Like they might not have any connection to 3 3/4, but they like these 6-inch figures.
Yep.
And I mean, 6-inch figures are just huge now.
They are.
I mean, I see people in the groups and they post their hauls, and it's like something from every IP, and they have these massive hauls.
Well, there's, I mean, 6 inches, what's being put out. There's no one, it's like they kind of ended that Walmart line. The vintage thing is kind of, but yeah, man, 6 inches where it's at. Now, the other thing is, Haslab has become very speculative because it's almost like comics in the 90s. People are going to buy a bunch because they think that they can sell a lot, and I think we saw it. The sail barge resale value was great. Everything else, the resale value has been great, because what happens is people see this initially and they're like, I don't want to back it. I'll get it later or something like that. And then there's FOMO, and then people are like, shit. And then they end up spending $1,000 for a $300 item. And it's crazy. Now, I think I think you're going to get a lot of that, but also it's kind of like a troop builder. Like, you see this vehicle, and in the cartoons and the comics, you always saw like a horde of his tanks coming, and I think people want to build that. But also, I think people are looking to say buy 2 or buy 3, sell 1, and have that 1 pay for the other 2.
I think it's like, definitely a lot of speculators.
So it's almost like you're getting 2 for free. It's a very smart collector business mentality. So I think that's why the numbers are also very high. But now going back to that $4.8 million number, that is massive, and it's like, whenever I see an item come out, I try to calculate the tooling costs and the deco hits and that sort of thing to try to figure out what the price is on something. Now, all the other Haslabs, Marvel, Star Wars, they're all paying a royalty. So that factors in a lot. G.I. Joe, you're not paying any royalty. So Hasbro's loving this right now. They're loving the fact that this is doing as well as it is, because it's just like printing money. They're at the point right now where say tooling was $1 million, and it's not, because the sail barge wasn't $1 million. The sail barge was 8 and change. Just call it $1 million, which it's nowhere near that. You're still at $3.8 million. Well, the production run is only a small percentage of that. So then it's like you're just pocketing millions of dollars off of a crowd-funded line. Now, we all feel the same way about crowdfunding and that sort of thing. Now, we don't like it. We think a billion-dollar company shouldn't be doing crowdfunding. But look at the 2 Star Wars ones. The 2 Star Wars ones failed. Now, had they sold that in stores, it might have sold, just because people walk down the aisle like, oh, Rancor, it's there. I see it. It's awesome. I'll buy it. A Reva lightsaber, probably not, because there's no stores that really carry those lightsabers at retail. But from a Hasbro standpoint, they're like, oh, look, see, it's good we did crowdfunding, because look, those ones didn't fund. So it's smart to do it. But I still don't think they should be doing it. They're doing, the other thing is they're doing a lot of them. It's like, come on, guys, like, the model works, but you also know, like, this stuff's gonna sell. Like, the Rancor didn't sell because you gave it shit unlocks and the price was too high.
Yeah.
Do it for the right price, do it at retail, you'll do all right.
Yep.
So yeah, this just rounding out my monopolization of the conversation. The his tank is an anomaly that I love, because it gives me a lot of insight now that I'm working on vehicles, what people want, what will sell. This is the size of it. The Thunder tank is kind of long. The TIE Fighter was too big, so it didn't do well. The Snowspeeder's kind of that right scale. So it's like, this was the right shape and scale that could fit on a shelf and that sort of thing, because it's not too deep, it's not too long. So it's like you could fit it sideways on a shelf and it won't take up a ton of real estate. That factors in a lot into what we collect and how we display. So lots of research for me. It's great that it's doing what it's doing, but it's an anomaly. That's all I can say.
Well, I have a question for you, and you might not know, but Do you think they run this kind of stuff by retail first and see if retail's interested, and if it's not, then they go straight to consumer?
No. The Haslab has become such a program that was like after the sail barge did as well as it did. It wasn't like when I was on the Marvel team and we were originally going to do Galactus first, not the Sentinel. So it wasn't like we were like, hey, let's pitch Galactus to retail. It was like, hey, you're on deck for a Haslab. What are your concepts? And like that's how it worked. Yeah. So the Haslab, when you kind of get your number at the deli counter, like, hey, you're up for Haslab. What do you got? It's kind of, you have a bunch of concepts to show.
All right, so let's go round robin here. Just the base level his tank as they presented it. The tank, the figure, which is on the screen now. Do you think it was a good value for $300 with the electronics, all that? Tony?
No, when I initially saw it, I was like, "Whoa, this is overpriced." I completely agree with Bobby. And they should give us a USB port like what Playmobil does with the Enterprise and stuff, because then I would be interested in the electronics, because I can just put it on the shelf and turn it on when I turn on the lights in my display cabinet. But now that I've seen all the unlocks, I do think this is.
Oh, hold on. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
he was just saying just initial offering.
No,
Bobby.
No, I still don't think that the initial offering was worth $300.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think $300 for the 19-inch long disc tank with one figure was about $100 too much, at least. And I try to be reasonable and factor in inflation, because inflation is out of control. And yeah, that USB idea, I actually talked about that with Jeremy on the last Laser Pants Live. And apparently you can, now you shouldn't, they should include this if they could. That might be weird to include batteries because of the shipping issues with batteries, but they do sell battery packs that will go into a AA battery slot that you can plug a USB cable into. So if you wanted to get the HISS tank and have that as an option, you could do that. And then you could control it from your phone, just like this. Check this out. Look at my details. Hit the button. Bam. Hit the button. You like that?
Look how fancy Ryan is.
I could just control my HISS tank from my phone. Just turn them on, off, wherever I'm at. I do want to get to some super chats before I move on to some of these unlocks in the HISS tank. So first of all, go ahead. Tony.
Real quick, Asherman55, calm down in the chat. We are not ignoring the early bird. All right, we haven't finished discussing this yet.
Yeah, we're going step by step. We will get to that. It's okay. It's okay. Have a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
All right, Noah's Game Over TV. Thank you very much. It was great meeting him and his dad at Joefest, Brad. He says, great seeing Mr. Bobby again and meeting Desert Rat and Laser Pants at VALACON. 3 POA podcasts and an Action Force battle. Great Saturday night. Thank you so much.
It was good seeing you, Noah.
Yes.
Noah was the first person I actually met, obviously aside from you guys, that I met at Joefest that I recognized, because it was about 30 minutes before the doors opened on the Friday. I sneak out the front for a cigarette and I bump straight into Noah and his dad. And I was as excited to meet him as he was me. And it was like, hey, man, it's Desert Rat, and shaking his hand. It was so cool. So cool.
Yeah. Super, super nice family. They went on an epic toy hunt from where they live. And I won't say where. Well, they say it in their videos. Anyway, they drove to Joefest and went on this epic road trip toy hunt on their way to Joefest. And it's all documented on Noah's Game Over TV. It's really cool. I recommend checking it out. So thank you. And we got one from White Vegeta. Thank you very much. He says, glad you all made it back from Joefest safely and looking forward to getting my Dark Side exclusive and hand. In hand. Yes. The infantry trooper.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. I got 4 of them to go with Desert Rat.
I haven't placed my pre-order yet. I'm waiting for payday next Wednesday.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you, White Mike Vegeta. And also, White Mike Vegeta, and I talked about this on the last Laser Pants Live, he gave me some dioramas, some tree stumps, and they are in my display with my Honey Badger vehicle from Brian Rowland. And they look great, so thank you. All right, and we got one from Matt Talon. Thank you very much. He says, you don't need to make vehicles, Bobby. We all seem to be finding plenty on our own. There's more 112 vehicle options out there than a lot of people realize. I just got a...
But just because you guys can find them on your own, why should that mean that I shouldn't do them?
No, you should. You should. Because what we can find is always slightly out of scale. It's always slightly too big or slightly too little. There's very few things that are right in scale with that, American 112 scale. The, Valaverse.
I think he's making a joke, Bobby. He's not being serious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come on, I got a really cool thing going. You're gonna love it.
No. In fact, I might be selling that Jackal to make room for the Valaverse vehicle. That H&M Armed Forces Jackal that I bought on while we were live.
You're welcome, Ryan, because I have driven the price up on those. So
have you really?
When you sell it for
one,
a profit,
Tony.
They made a helicopter too, and I got the helicopter, and some YouTuber made a video about it, and it rocketed up in price. The H&M Armed Forces helicopter. Okay. Any more super chats here? I'm scrolling through.
No, we caught up.
Okay, we're all caught up on super chats. Okay, so our first unlock. Well, first of all, like whoever it was wanted us to talk about, they did give an early bird special. If it funded to 8,000 within I don't know, however many days. What was it, July something? July.
Yeah, I don't even think it needed to fully fund. I think they said if they got to 6,000 backers or whatever the details were, but it was if we got this many backers by this date, and it was only about a week.
No, I got it here. I got it here. Yeah, if the project fully funds by reaching 8,000 backers within the first week of launch, which was midnight Wednesday, July 6th, the exclusive, everyone who backs the Haslab, not just the early birds, but everyone who backs it, will receive an exclusive Cobra Hiss Tactician figure with deco inspired by the designs of legendary G.I. Joe designer Ron Rudat, who we all got to see at VALACON. And it says, what? What's so funny?
Just
VALACON.
VALACON.
Yeah.
Guy, you love it, don't you?
I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah. It says backers will get to help choose the color scheme inspiration for the final deco of the Tactician figure once the campaign ends. So here's what they showed. There was all the variations that you will be able to vote on when the campaign ends. Lots of different colors. I don't know. I kind of like the black on black with the silver Cobra logo myself without the red. Or maybe the one that's all black on black with just the red Cobra logo on the chest.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah. A toss up for me between.
So my thoughts here. I saw this blowing up on social media when they launched the Haslab, and there's a funny little video I took of Michael French's first reaction to it.
Which was hilarious.
I do think that from a marketing standpoint that the early bird unlock, whatever you want to call it, was a good idea to get people to back the project early. Mm-hmm. But to address that irritating person in the chat who won't shut up about it, when I saw a tactician who I didn't really know what he was actually going to end up looking like, and the Hiss tank and the driver, at that point, I still didn't think this was good value for money. Now, I know there are more unlocks coming down the line, and it was very, very smart of them to announce, I think, that their first unlock, if the early bird funding happened, was going to be another figure, because that's what I think really damaged the Rancor Haslab campaign, because the initial unlocks weren't even figures. We were getting cardboard backdrops and bags of bones.
But also the figures we did get were figures that were already released.
Yeah, but exactly that hurt it. But we weren't finding this out until several weeks into the campaign. Then another figure. Then another, and it's like, those are the figures you're giving us? No, we never got. They were never going to give us the Rancor Keeper, and they were expecting people to back this and wait right until the end of the campaign to then find out. No, we're not going to give you what you want. So
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, well, it funded within like 8 hours. So that first day, you were getting 2 figures with the his tank. Again, I still think that was overpriced, but the deal started to get sweeter. I just want to say, Blake said a 112 USS flag would be as big as your car and cost as much. Stop it, people. That's crazy. A 112 USS flag would be ridiculous. It'd be like 20 some feet long. There's people out there that would buy it though. So it rocketed past 8,000 in the first day, and they announced the first unlock, which was these rockets, these side-mounted rockets, removable. Now, someone said these were on one of the older his tanks. Bobby, you're probably familiar. Which his tank came with these things?
I want to say it was a Sigma 6 his tank.
Okay. Someone said on the last Laser Pants Live, that's a show. And I'm going to talk more about that later.
Yeah, I believe it was a Sigma 6 one.
Justin Bryant, thank you very much. He says, "Sup, Bobby? Sorry I missed you at Joefest. Hey, Laser." Hey, Justin.
What's up,
thank you very much. I don't know how you missed us. It was the biggest booth there. Oh, maybe you didn't go. Okay.
Yeah.
George Aiken says, go ahead.
I agree with George Aiken. They look like Nerf darts. So I think I don't know if it's for. Well, no, it wouldn't be for a 6-inch scale because we haven't had a his tank. I know Gridiron Studios have made an add-on like this, but that's probably for a 3 3/4 inch scale his tank.
Yeah.
Because that was before this Haslab was announced. So.
Yeah. So yeah, they definitely look like Nerf darts to me. In fact, I questioned that. I was like, do these actually shoot? Do they shoot some sort of dart, like a Nerf dart? And I was told they do not shoot. They're just aesthetic. It would be cool if they had like, you could swap out the tips for like a smoke effect with a rocket at the end, like it's firing rockets.
Yeah,
that would be cool. But we'll probably have the 3D printers and the fans will make something like that for it. So that was unlocked at 10,000 backers, which I think was the next day on day 2. So we got these things, and there they are mounted on there. They swivel. They're removable. You can tuck them in like this. I mean, it looks cool to me. Now, look, I'm not a huge fan of the his tank. Never had one as a kid. I have no nostalgic connection to it. So this vehicle just isn't for me. What did you say it's called, Bobby? The Mauler, like a regular.
The Mauler was one of the Joe tanks. It's not the only tank, but it was one of the tanks.
But it has a more real world look.
It looks. It's based off a. I think it's based off the Abrams. It's not exactly the same. Like a lot of things in G.I. Joe, the Dragonfly was based on the Apache gunship. The Sky Strike was based on the F-14.
Yep.
Yeah, all the Cobra vehicles, I mean, besides the Rattler and a little bit of the Night Raven, but other than that, the Cobra vehicles were very just concept ideas. They weren't anything real world like the Joe vehicles.
The Mauler would have been more in my wheelhouse if they did that. Of course, that would be huge.
And it probably would have. Like I'm saying, if they did, I'm trying to think. So I'm trying to think of what G.I. Joe had that was around this size of the his tank, because the Striker and the Vamp were a little smaller.
But Bobby, there was I think it was like a Sears exclusive back in the 80s where you could get the Vamp and the Howl laser. In a 2-pack. And I always thought that would be a really good idea for a Haslab because, you're getting a lot because you're getting a vehicle and a wheeled artillery piece. When it comes to display, you can have the Vamp towing it, or you can have one at either end of your shelf. They're going to fit on the shelf. and also you fit 2 figures in the vamp, 1 figure on the laser, and you can still see most of the figure because the open cockpit design kind of thing. I always thought that I was very surprised they didn't come out with a hero vehicle before a Cobra enemy vehicle. But again, to your point about this fitting on the shelf, I think even more so than the Black Series Snowspeeder, because the Snowspeeder is actually very, very wide.
Yeah.
Yep.
If if you've got open shelves, yeah, but if you've got glass cases, you can't shut the door with the Snowspeeder. Yep. Does this fit inside a Detolf shelf?
Yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it does, and that's a very smart move by Hasbro. If it doesn't,
it does not. It's 19 inches, and the inside of a Detolf is slightly under 16.
Ooh.
Okay, what's that in metric, bro? I'm joking.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm joking. I know what it is.
Okay. But yeah, Jeff Moore said I would rather have had the Mauler or the Mobat for a tank. You and me both. That's just a personal choice. I lean towards more realistic stuff because I wasn't a huge G.I. Joe fan as a kid. Said it a million times. But obviously Hasbro hit a home run with this thing. I mean, the numbers prove it. So the next unlock, and this one was controversial. I saw a lot of upset yelling, some very divisive comments in the Hasbro Pulse Instagram feed. And that was the retro style canopy and what they call it, the retro armor plated tread skirts. So it's just like aesthetic pieces make it look more like a vintage piss tank. You got the tread skirts that you can plug on there, and
this one would have gone straight past me. I don't even know that this was one of the unlocks. It is better than a cardboard backdrop.
Yes, and or a handful of bones. So I actually I know there was a lot of controversy and a lot of people didn't like it, but I think this is actually a good tier for the people with deep pockets that are army building this thing. Right? Mm-hmm. You could have your one with like the modern look, maybe, and you could have two with it that have like this classic look, right? Like there's the leader, right? And the like a squad. See what I'm saying? But a lot of people, a lot of Joe fans were really upset about this unlock.
Listen, I think with everyone, I mean, don't hold me to it, but I want to say that with every Haslab item, one of the unlocks has definitely been lame. At least you got to have that softball pitch. Like you got to have that one that's just cost no money to do and is super simple. You have to, like, from a business standpoint, you have to. So
with the barge, it was the yak face. It was just a different card. Now, granted, that Power of the Force card that was in with the barge, that goes for a lot of money. That's $200 to $300 on the secondary market.
Shit, really?
Yeah, but it was just a card back.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense for 3 3/4 Star Wars collectors because a lot of them like to keep stuff on card.
That's true.
6-inch collectors, I think, are primarily loose.
Yeah.
Loose collectors.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people hated this. But I think it's good for those out there that want an army build. So, quick super chat, and then we'll get on to the number 3 unlock. Robert Diaz, thank you very much, man. He says the Joes had the septic tank that used the same mold as the his tank.
No, it was a later version.
Was it really called the septic tank?
Yeah, it was during the Eco
Warriors line.
Yeah.
Okay. They should have gone with the septic tank. Just kidding. Okay. All right. They really called the vehicle a septic tank. That's actually really funny. All right. So then at 14,000 backers, which was maybe a week or a handful of days, few days after this went live, was the accessory pack. These gun accessories, which mount on to the his tank, one around the gunner station on the top and one under the chin, for lack of a better term.
No, that's right. It's the chin gun. Yeah.
Okay, the chin gun. And a lot of people were saying that the front of the his tank looked a lot like a DeLorean, and I could see their point. Looks a bit like a DMC DeLorean.
Looks a bit like Knight Rider too. It's
yeah, Knight Rider. Yeah.
No.
But it's more squared off like a DeLorean. But it's got the red lights in the middle like a kit.
Just go back to the previous photo where they've got the two miniguns on the turret there.
Yeah,
and just think how good that's going to look when you take those ejecting case accessories from the Valaverse minigun and put it on that.
There you go. Very cool. So I think this is a decent unlock. It's not the most exciting, but then you get to the second part of this unlock, which is this female his tank gunner. Female figure. I think it looks pretty cool. The female counterpart to the male figure that comes with this. She comes with a shovel. In case you got to drop a deuce out in the woods.
I'm a little confused by the shovel.
Did the old his tank ever come with a shovel?
No, but as a general rule, all all tanks of any kind, you'll have manual stuff like this for when you blow a track and you've got to repair it. But that kind of thing doesn't happen in the world of G.I. Joe,
Well, I mean, the Vamp had a shovel on it.
I have a RC Jeep 110 that fits classified scale figures, and it has a shovel mounted on the side that you can take off. So I guess that's the thing. But I mean, I think this figure looks cool looking figure. I hope they release a single carded. I'll probably pick it up, but if not, I won't lose any.
Maybe it's just so that they can dig a hole and bury the first wave of G.I. Joe classified figures.
Yeah, you gotta drop a deuce. All right.
For those people who've been buying classified right from the start, I do wonder what they do now when, and I said it in my video the other day, they have really upped their game. I love this Storm Shadow figure.
Oh.
I love it. Spirit is really up there as well. Spirit's awesome.
Yeah, Spirit's awesome.
Yeah, that is a gorgeous figure. If you're trying to display these now, you go back to that first wave with Duke with the gold shin pads and all that stuff. What do you do with those figures now?
Push them to the back.
Yeah.
You put them in a box and you give them to the Goodwill. Or you donate them to Toys for Tots. Actually, they only take unwrapped toys. So, okay, so that was at the 14,000 unlock level. Now the 16,000 unlock, they didn't show right away. It hit 16,000. I think they waited a few. Or no, they hit 14,000. So the female his tank trooper was unlocked, the gunner, and the extra guns were unlocked. But then they didn't say what they were going to unlock for 16,000. We knew there was an unlock. They didn't say what it was. But then they hit it. They hit that unlock goal. And it was Cobra Commander. A very vintage-looking Cobra Commander. I think it looks pretty cool. A lot of fans were super pissed that it wasn't hooded Cobra Commander.
Never going to get it.
If only those fans listened to the 3POA podcast.
Right?
They would have known that the hooded Cobra Commander will never happen.
Yep.
And God, I hope Hasbro doesn't change their mind because then I'll look like a dumbass.
Well, I mean, listen, there's a lot of new management there after Brian Goldner died.
Mm-hmm.
Different people took over. They got rid of the woman that was holding G.I. Joe back for so many years. So there's a new regime in there. Hopefully there's no one still there that remembers that conversation that Lorenzo Di Bonaventura brought up in that meeting. So maybe there's a future, but as of right now, I doubt it.
So what do you guys think of this Cobra Commander? As two hardcore G.I. Joe fans, is this something you would be interested in if you saw it on the peg at Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it looks much. It's much more of a classic look than the previous. We've had a number of different Cobra Commanders who are. It's all the same figure, just different deco, and then there was that deluxe box one.
Yeah.
So it's better than Captain Crunch.
That's not the Captain Crunch one, but that
guy. Show us his boots there, Ryan. It's the toes.
His riding boots?
He's stolen Aladdin's boots there. He's got the curly front toe.
He also stole
Yeah,
Megatron
he's
from Mark II
Carpet
Design.
Well, like I said in the beginning, I mean, they course corrected and they realized that nostalgia sells. So it's kind of a no-brainer to do this. Now, they're definitely going to re-release this one single carded because they're giving this one the Mickey Mouse Cobra logo. Which
explain to those of us that don't know what that is.
So back when Mail Away Cobra Commander first came out, the first few thousand had a Tampo Cobra symbol that was kind of jacked up, and it wasn't exactly what Ron had designed, and it ends up looking like a Mickey Mouse logo. They're very rare. I have 2 of them, but they're very rare, and that's what it looked like. Now,
right there, right?
Now this was kind of like it was one of those things where it was, a known thing with the hardcore G.I. Joe fans, and the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, I believe in 2011, JoeCon was in Orlando, and they did a Cobra Commander, and he had a silver Mickey Mouse Cobra logo. But then when I did the Missile Command headquarters for San Diego Comic-Con in 2017, I did the red Mickey Mouse on this version of Cobra Commander. So it was the first time that the vintage one in red had been done since the original one in 82. Now they're kind of tugging at those nostalgia heartstrings again, doing it here. So because it's a niche logo, they're definitely going to offer him single carded with the regular logo. Now, if they're smart, they'll offer him with an alternate head. However, the hooded Cobra Commander was not in this color costume. His was a dark blue with gold accents, not red. So if you do the hooded one, you can't just throw in an alternate head like they did with the Retaliation version, that Ultimate Cobra Commander. Amazing figure. That's probably the most perfect Cobra Commander figure out there. However, the hooded head that came with that figure wasn't exactly accurate because the bodies were different colors.
Okay. He's got the hair dryer right there. Pretty cool. Yeah, I like this. I'm looking forward to getting the Walmart exclusive one when it comes out.
Now, what I don't like is, obviously, they last minute kind of threw this together because they were like, oh, wow. Kind of like, oh, everyone wants a Rancor Keeper. Okay, let's show a picture of him. So it's kind of like, they showed this and it's like, okay, but it'd be really nice if you guys had this planned and had done this. Now, maybe if someone was there that still knew, or they still had the sculpt files for my 6-inch G.I. Joe line that I worked on, you would have a classic Cobra Commander body because I did one. And it was all sculpted up. So, it would just be nice. But instead you're showing, a concept drawing. It's like, all right, thanks. But if you not, it's like you're spending $300 on something. It's made almost $5 million. It'd be really nice if you guys, had this planned, had this sculpted up, just in case. It's like, you're probably going to do this figure anyway. You should have had this figure sculpted up. So,
I think what they're going to do now is that this Mickey Mouse logo will be the exclusive. Yeah. And then we'll get the regular Cobra logo at retail.
Yep.
Okay, so
with less stuff, you're not going to get the extra hands. You're going to get the gun. You're not going to get the globe with the snake.
Right. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to get to a couple super chats real quick, and then we'll get into our final thoughts with these unlocks. So first up, Justin Bryant. Thank you very much. He says, "Yeah, work caught me Joefest weekend, but I did get a buddy to grab me figures, and I used money to order Series 2 I was missing. Then ordered my Night Ops. Only one I'm missing is Desert Rat.
Got them in stock.
They're in stock on Valaverse.com, man.
Yep.
Let's see here. We got another super chat from Creative Labs. Thank you very much. He says, I just filmed a collection of my 82 to 85 Joes with full card backs. I'll be posting. I have the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. There you go. So click on Creative Labs and check out his video when it's up. And okay, we're all caught up on Super Chats. Thank you very much, Creative Labs. All right, so now that the His Tank fully unlocked, everything. Oh, before we get to that, there's a lot of murmuring about Hasbro will show us a secret 5th unlock later on because it's so successful. Now, they did with the Sentinel. They gave us an extra tentacle. They gave us 2 tentacles. That was an unofficial, unannounced unlock, right? Like they said it at the end. Like, this is so successful, we're going to give you 2 tentacles instead of 1. Do you think we'll get something like that with the His Tank? A 5th unlock.
It'd be nice if they did. With it bringing in this much money, it'd be nice if they did.
And what do you guys think it might be if they did? I think it'll be something small and cheap if it happens.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
You know what I think would be really cool? Would be like a ladder going up to the cockpit. So you can kind of display it with, your Cobra troops, getting ready to get into it. Because I don't know how the His Tank driver actually gets up in there. I think that would be really cool to have like a bright red ladder or something. But I also think that now, having seen all of these unlocks, I now think this is good value for money. This with 4 figures and all these other add-ons at 300. This is now, if I saw this for 300 at retail, would be something that I would buy. However, the people who were backing it very, very early on, they were taking a gamble, and I'm happy for them that the gamble has paid off, because they could have got, a cardboard backdrop of the G.I. Joe headquarters and a bag of snakes instead of a bag of bones, but they didn't. They got really good unlocks, and yeah, it'd be nice if they get something, a little bonus. Maybe they announced during San Diego Comic-Con or something. When is San Diego Comic-Con?
Next weekend.
Okay.
Bobby, what do you think? If there's an unlock, what do you think it could possibly be?
I think some blast effects. They had blast effects with Sky Striker.
That'll be cool.
So I think that might be nice. I don't know. Listen, man, this whole thing is taking me by surprise. So it's like, I don't know. I'd have to really like kind of think about it, because, I don't know what they're thinking now, but it's interesting.
Tony, can you even get one of these things in Australia? Like direct from Hasbro? Can you?
I'll have to use my US forwarding address.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I could do, or I could, get it sent to laserpants.com, but
yeah, you could. Get 2 of them.
So I'm going back to something Bobby was saying kind of right at the start there about, the people who are potentially going to like buy 3 of these, and then when they get them, they're going to have one for either end of the shelf and then sell the other one to try and recoup some of the cost. I think there are a lot of people out there, and I'm one of them. When I buy something, I want to get it either straight away, like it's in stock, or I know it's only going to be. The only thing I really pre-order is Valaverse stuff, but Bobby always delivers within a few months. Certainly, obviously, once we got past the Series 1 Kickstarter, everything is, it's getting delivered when Bobby pretty much says it's being delivered.
Yeah.
I don't want to tie up, which in Australian money is like 500, close to $500 for me with postage for this thing. I don't want to give up $500 of my money and wait like 18 months to get the item. I'm not that person. And I think there's a lot of people like that. Then when you see it available, on eBay or whatever, and someone's charging more for it, I'm not going to pay the overpriced. But I think that's when some people do, because it's that that satisfaction of the purchase. Some people, they shopaholics, they fight off depression because they get that instant gratification of buying a Gucci handbag or whatever. I'm talking about the wife here now. they don't want to fork out $500 or $1,000 and then just sit there and wait because you don't get that satisfaction of that impulse purchase or whatever it is. So,
yeah. So, we got a super chat. Oh, Keith Knight, thank you very much. He says, "Can I get a signed Desert Rat figure? How would I go about it? Happy to pay over the top for it."
How much?
I'm sure we could. Bobby could send you something, huh?
I think I know a guy.
Yeah, Keith is a good dude.
Yeah, and Keith is a good dude, and he should pay over the top for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, what shipping to the UK has got to be 80.
No,
90?
no, it's not that. Not for a single figure. It's not that much.
Thank you, Keith. All right. So,
real quick, sorry, wrong one. Bradley here. Tony, that's what interest-free credit cards are for. Well, no, I'm not going to encourage anyone to go out and start getting credit cards to buy toys.
we are not Jedi Temple Archives. We are not going to encourage people to go into debt.
I have an interest-free credit card.
I mean, I have no.
And it's only interest-free for 6 months. When you've got to wait 18 months, I've still got to pay that thing off a year before I get it. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't buy toys with on credit. I save my money, and if I haven't got money saved, I don't buy it. Credit cards are for emergencies like cancelled flights in the United States.
Oh man, yeah. we should talk about Joefest a little bit more. You had dipped out, and I kind of just jumped into his tank, but yeah. So I think with all these unlocks, with the electronics, we're getting 4 figures now. The added missiles and all that.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty good value. If I was more of a fan of the his tank, if I was really into it, I would get at least one. But as it stands now, this is going to be a pass for me. And also, if you're a speculator, be careful. And I don't want to get I'm not going to get political, but a year to 18 months from now, it'll be a much different economy, and there might not be a lot of people with extra funds to pay over 300 or whatever.
This is true.
To get a his tank from you. So you might want to stick with what you can afford now and keep. I wouldn't buy extra planning on selling it for a profit in a year or 2, a year and a half.
Now the other thing is that because there's so many being purchased, there's a good chance that there won't be much FOMO because people are like, oh, I missed out on the Sentinel, I missed out on Galactus, or I missed out on the Sail Barge or the Razor Crest. I'm not going to do it with this. So I think you're not I think it might be harder, and I think it might backfire on some people when this thing comes in and they're trying to sell it. And then it's not selling for $800 like they hoped because so many people bought it. And there's not that many people out there that need one. But then it's you're going to see maybe it'll drop down to 500, maybe 400. And then it's okay, then they'll sell for retail, and then the ship will be, it'll be right again because, people learned from the previous Haslab stuff. Listen, I wanted to buy the Sentinel. I literally missed it. And, but when Galactus came out, I knew I wanted Galactus. So I jumped on it very early so that I wouldn't miss it and have to overpay on Galactus like I did on the Sentinel. But, it's all right.
Ryan, did I just hear a toilet flush?
Probably. Did you really?
You turned your camera off, but you didn't mute, bro.
I mean, it's 15 feet away. All right. We got
a super chat here. Yeah, from Creative Labs. Thank you very much. Said, I think I'll get the Hiss. Pretty amazing product now with all the figures. Yep. What vintage G.I. Joe would you each shell out for on a card? You know what I would love to see at retail that actually isn't a figure is the Cobra Night Landing set. That's such an iconic blue and red, the classic Cobra colors. It's a small, for those who don't know, the Cobra Night Landing is a rubber dinghy boat. It's got a couple of machine guns, an outboard motor, some paddles, a knife. that's a really, really cool set that would look awesome with your classified figures. Easy to display on a shelf, and they could probably sell that in a box kind of the same size as the I've got it here. You could sell the Cobra Night Landing in a box that size, and potentially even put a Cobra Trooper in there as well. That's something I would really like to see, because that's a cool set.
So there was, I may or may not know a guy who's got one. There was during
16 scale.
No, in the Retaliation line, they had shown a Night Landing with an eel, and he was a brand new tooled figure with a big rebreather and stuff like that. And then the product never shipped, never saw the light of day, but maybe it did. I don't know.
Thank you, Creative Labs.
But yeah, it was a cool set, and you could definitely do that as deluxe, like $50 item or even $60 item, and I think it would do very well.
Now, I don't know what this is in reference to, because I was taking a leak, but Drew G says, I have an extra Bobby. He has an extra Bobby? There's more than one?
Drew, what do you have an extra of?
Let us know.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about when you were flushing the toilet.
Okay, so
Sentinel.
Oh, I got one. Sal sold me his extra one. So I'm covered.
Drew G thought he was going to get a quick and easy sale in the
I still have
now he wants a refund for his super chats.
Yeah. No refund.
I'm just joking with you, Drew.
But I will buy you a couple beers at the next Joefest, buddy. Okay. So there was another Haslab going on. This one, not quite as popular.
Not all that.
Reva's lightsaber. Now this had a minimum backer goal of 5,000, and it, according to Hasbro Pulse now, it got to 1,413. So not even 20. Well, yeah, not even 20%.
What was the goal?
5,000.
Oh.
This was a $500 item. Now these lightsabers have gone up in price like crazy, and not just since all this inflation stuff, but I swear I bought one of these like in 2015 for like $150, and now now they want like $250 or something for just a regular lightsaber, and $500 for this Reva lightsaber, and they made it a Haslab. I refuse to believe, and for all their faults, and I'm not attacking anyone personally, but I refuse to believe that the Star Wars Hasbro team is that dumb to think that this lightsaber would fully fund.
Oh, that's awesome.
Someone was that dumb, man. Like, this is a really dumb idea. Now,
I think it was pushed by Lucasfilm, and I can't speak to that because I've never worked there, but I happen to know a guy that has. Do you think that Lucasfilm or Disney pushed them to make this lightsaber and maybe push them to make it the Haslab? Or was that Hasbro was like, fine, we'll make it, but we're doing a Haslab? Or just, I know you have to speculate because you're not there. You weren't on the Star Wars team, but.
Yeah, because I was on a Star Wars team, I mean, listen, man, Marvel did some wacky stuff. Yeah. But I would not put it past Lucasfilm to have kind of been orchestrating this one. It could have been one of those. Well, I'm trying to think, because I'm like, how long ago did the Rancor fail?
October. Or no, it was November, because we were doing the 3 POA when it failed.
Well, October, November, there was still enough a good amount of time in between there that they could have come up with this idea. I wonder if it was something where Lucasfilm was like, hey, your last one failed. Why don't you let us try our hand at this? But I don't know. I mean, listen, man, from what I was told when I was there, since I've been there, the Lucasfilm team is so much worse to deal with than the Marvel team.
I I don't find that hard to believe for some reason. I don't know what it is. I just now look, if they would have marketed this as an Inquisitor lightsaber, because they're kind of standard issue lightsabers, this could be the Grand Inquisitors, this could be the Fifth Brothers, this could be the Seven Sisters. I think it would have probably sold 2,000 units, right? But the character of Reva, and I know there's a lot of talk about Reva, and I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying, not a universally loved character, and that's all I'm saying. They marketed this as the Reva,
and saying that doesn't make you racist, Ryan.
I know, I know it doesn't, but you know, the world is what it is. So, but not a universally loved character by a long shot. But they marketed this as Reva's lightsaber. This has nothing to do with the actress that played Reva, and I have to say that. I'm sure she's a very fine woman, very fine actress. No issue with her at all. But they marketed it as the Reva lightsaber, and that's why I tend to think that it was Lucasfilm pushing this thing. That was doomed to fail.
I was starting to come up with an idea to make a bit of a video about this week, and then I've sort of thought no one's really interested in the Reva lightsaber. I'll just talk about it on the 3POA. But I started doing a little bit of research, right? And I was having the same thoughts as you, Ryan, that I got the impression that this was something that Lucasfilm was pushing, because this is a really, really dumb idea for a Haslab. Now, I think a lot of the people, certainly not all of them, but I think a lot of the people who buy these Black Series life-size lightsabers like to cosplay. So if that's the case, you need to look at the percentage of your audience demographic that's going to want to cosplay as Reva. It's female. I found a study from, it's a couple of years ago, but from 2019. All right. A study that looked at Star Wars fans in the United States based on gender. Now, at the time, I don't know what it is now, but at the time, 50.5% of the population was female, 49.5% was male. So we're talking about 0.5%. We can pretty much say it's 50-50. 36% of males in the United States said that they were, really enthusiastic Star Wars fans. I can't remember the exact wording they had. 36% of United States males are Star Wars fans, compared to 14% of females. So that's a huge difference in the amount of people who are admitting that they're fans. So you look at the makeup of what's it called? Is it the 501st Legion who do all the cosplay stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They certainly have female members, but they are in a minority. Then you come out with something like this. Now, I also think that Lucasfilm are not idiots. They know that the demographic of their audience is middle-aged men with beards. All right.
How dare you?
That's certainly the demographic that are going onto Hasbro Pulse and buying this kind of thing, right? Or any Haslab thing. We're middle-aged men. They're aware of that, but I don't think that they want us to be the demographic. They're trying to change the demographic audience. They want more females coming into the cinema watching the movies. They want more females buying things like this. If that's the case, go off and start a brand new franchise that's aimed at that demographic, rather than taking a pre-existing franchise that became popular in the late 70s and early 80s when people like me were impressionable young children. Yeah.
Can I just
go ahead?
Sorry, can I just say how I love how the 3POA podcast all of a sudden turned into like a news source that actually cited studies?
I was reading this shit during the week. Well, I was starting to write a script for a video, and then I thought, no, I can't be bothered wasting my time making a video about a Reva lightsaber. But I started doing the research, and it's it's there from 3 years ago. A university study in the United States said that the difference in percentage, it's around like 70 of everyone who says that they're an enthusiastic Star Wars fan in the United States. 70% of them are men, 30% of them are women.
And look, I have no issue with them wanting a larger female audience. Like,
no, I don't either. But I don't think
totally cool.
they're not going about it the right way.
Look, I go to these cons, and it's a bunch of smelly, overweight dudes that are middle-aged. I'm not smelly, by the way. But so I'm all for more women in the hobby, right? In the
absolutely.
fandom. In the fandom. However, the way they're going about it, they're just alienating the original fandom. And
I'm sorry, what they're coming out and accusing people like me, white middle-aged guys who grew up this, who are fans of it, who say that we don't like Reva as a character. Now you've got Ewan McGregor coming out saying that we're racist.
Yeah, that's not good.
When that's not the case.
There's some real douchebags out there, of course, but man, I've grown up with Star Wars. It ain't like that, man. I mean, we grew up with Alien and Star Wars, and I'm going to mention every strong female character from the 80s, Sarah Connor, right? Ripley, Princess Leia. We all loved them. I never gave it two thoughts like, oh, I can't like this character because it's female. Never. That never crossed our minds, Bobby, you're doing a whole wave of female action figures. It's a huge success.
White, black, Hispanic, Native American, you name it.
The more, the better. Yeah. It's fine. But
the difference is Bobby's created interesting, dynamic characters that we care about. That wasn't the character that I saw in the Obi-Wan TV show.
I feel bad for Moses because I think her character was horribly written. It wasn't done justice. We would have all loved Reva if she had a decent story. If she was written well. That's not on the actress. That's not on her. It lies at the feet of the writers and ultimately at the heads of Lucasfilm.
If you guys out there want to watch a good video, one of our good buddies of the channel, World Class Bullshitters, he did a really great video about why it's wrong to say it's racist to not like Reva. He makes really good points about Lando, other female characters. He has a very compelling argument for her just being a poorly written character, like you said, Ryan.
Yeah. I don't want to get too deep into it.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna
it's really good.
Look, I got to hang out with Jeff in person. Jeff is a totally down-to-earth guy. He's not, a lot of people label them and others as, extremists or this and that. They're not. And they label people that criticize this stuff as haters. They just want to hate. They are hate merchants, which hate merchants exist. Absolutely. But that's not Jeff. That's not us. We love these properties. We love Star Wars. We want Star Wars to be successful. So when we see it going in the toilet, we're going to speak up because we want it to be good. And when it's not good, we're going to speak up. I grew up with Star Wars. Luke is my favorite character. He's him and Christopher Reeve's Superman. Like, that's it for me as a child. Those are my heroes. I want the properties that are part of to be good. I want them to be excellent. So guys like me, we speak up when it's trash, and that doesn't mean all of a sudden we hate it and we just want to be hateful. No, we want it to be good. We want to love it. And when we don't love it, it sucks. It hurts because we've loved it our whole life up until this point. So,
and that's why you and me are also very different, Ryan.
Yeah,
you're saying in childhood it was Luke Skywalker and Superman for you. That was it. Yeah. And for me, it was Mad Max, Snake Plissken, and Rambo.
Hey, I loved Rambo too, but I didn't see stuff like Rambo and Snake Plissken until I was a teenager. So I have to start from when I'm super young, preschool age, and
yeah.
But
I had some questionable parenting growing up.
That's okay. Yeah, you turned out kind of okay. So
yeah, that's debatable.
All right, so that's enough of Reva's lightsaber. And you know what? There's 1,400 fans that wanted it. Condolences to them. I wish they could have got the lightsaber that they wanted.
Condolences.
I wish it was at retail so they could have got it. I'm not hating on them. If they like the lightsaber, if they like the character, more power to them. Super chat from Justin Bryant. Thank you very much. He says, if you can afford the con, you can afford deodorant.
This is true.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you. There's too many smelly dudes at cons. Please take a shower. Get some deodorant. Let's see. Greg Fenstad says, Laser Pants proof of point Ahsoka was hated at first. Very true. The movie, season 1, part of season 2. Until her character grew and matured. Ahsoka, hands down, second favorite character in all of Star Wars for me. Love Ahsoka. I can't wait to see your show. I hope it's good. Come on. Of course, I just watched Obi-Wan. And I love Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we're at the point right now where you're just like,
It sucks,
you used to be like, all right, 1 out of every 4 things was bad. Now it's like 50-50. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Listen,
like,
good.
I remember like you guys or Tony and Michael were talking about Obi-Wan. And they were hating on it before it even started. They were like, it's going to be shit. And I'm just like, I'm quietly not saying anything because I'm like, I think it's going to be great.
Me too.
I think it's going to be awesome. You know what?
I knew it was going to be shit, bro.
I'm just like, watch, they're going to be proven wrong. And I was like, this thing's going to be so good. I got my hopes up about it. And it was like instantly, I was let down, like instantly. And I'm not saying that I just need the vintage stuff. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is like, listen, man, there are things like the Reva character sucked. The Inquisitor character sucked. I didn't need Darth Vader. I got the Darth Vader I needed in Rogue One. I didn't care about bratty little Leia. It was like, come on, man, give me Darth Maul. Give me something a lot better. I felt like this was just like,
10-year-old Leia could have been so good. And I don't want to get deep into Obi-Wan because but look, 10-year-old Leia could have been really good, but they don't know how to write that kind of character. They just make them brats.
Yeah.
Leia in the original trilogy was not a brat. Now, granted, this is a 10-year-old Leia, but still, I feel like Princess Leia growing up in a royal family and who she was at 19 in A New Hope, she wouldn't have been a bratty kid like that.
That's true.
Yes, she's headstrong. She's sure of herself, but I just don't see her. Again, not attacking the actress. Another super chat here from Bradley Bendel. Thank you very much. He says, a little off topic, but Tony, I love the documentary, The Real Desert Rat. It was amazing.
So good.
Thank you for sharing your story.
So good.
Says, thank you for sharing your story. I recommend all Action Force fans check it out. Listen, I recommend everyone check it out. If you're just a fan of documentaries or good stories, check out the Real Desert Rat documentary. Tony, you made my wife tear up.
I made a lot of people tear up. I made myself tear up.
Like 4 times.
Yeah.
So good.
I said it before, but you don't have to be a toy fan to enjoy this documentary. It's the focus is not toys, it's Tony's story, and it's really good, man. It's moving. Thank you, Bradley. We are caught up on supers. So, all right, we covered the Haslab stuff. I did want to get back into Joefest a little bit, and a little bit of Iconicon. Tony, you had some stuff you picked up there that you wanted to show?
Yeah, I did. So technically not Joefest pickup. Like I showed my Joefest pickups at in the video the other day. Something I wish I had to put in that video and kind of forgot about was on the first day going round, I saw a nice boxed Palatoy Action Force Shadow Track and Driver, $200 US, which is a really good price. So I bought it. hoping that Bobby would buy it off me because I wanted Bobby to put it in his Action Force collection, and of course, he was more than happy to take it off my hands. So I bought it for him. But I bought a bunch of stuff from Reclaimers Vintage Toys with the intention of picking it up from Matt Swafford when I met him at the Iconicon meetup. But Matt was concerned about him bringing it to Atlanta in a suitcase, and then me bringing it home in a suitcase. So I've got a couple of items here. I've got some really nice vintage Joes, mint complete. I've already got Crimson Guard. I wanted another one, an Outback.
Very nice. Love the Outback.
This is one of the nicest condition Joes I have in my collection now. Lieutenant Falcon.
Figure. Great figure.
Yeah, great figure. Really, really good condition. This here is something that I think you two will really, really appreciate. I was buying some G.I. Joe stuff from Matt. I got a couple of mini play sets as well, like the Cobra rifle range and the bivouac set. And I was like, what else have you got for sale at the moment, man? And he's like, well, I have a really, really nice carded. And I was like, I've got to grab that. So I've got.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
Ooh, there we go.
Toy Biz 89 Batman.
This is like, if I was a grader, this would be the kind of thing. It's in that good a condition. It's unpunched.
Which face is it?
Well, I don't know what the differences are.
Hold it up to your camera.
That's the Keaton face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the first one, Bobby?
No. The first one was the square jaw.
Okay. The one that Tony you have, that's the one that I had as a kid.
Yeah.
I love that card. Man, I love that card.
Man, that card
memories. I also picked up the Doom Strafer for Centurions. The Doom Strafer is this like separate. It's like a drone kind of thing, but you can take it apart and actually attach parts of it to the bad guys. And I had a spare Doc Terror figure who was missing accessories, so I've decked it out on that. So that was really cool. And the last thing, so I discussed this in my kind of spoof video the other day, where I got that box of stuff from Hasbro, which, there are some people who still don't believe Hasbro sent me a box, but, I'm pretty sure they're not going to send me another one.
Yeah, I've seen the email. It happened.
But this box here that's got the two 3 3/4 O-ring figures in it, I nearly threw the outer box away because I got the two carded figures, and space is a premium here. I don't keep a lot of packaging. All right, so I've got the figures. I nearly threw this box away, and then Lio Convoy said to me, "Oh, did you get all the extra weapons and stand packs out of the box?" I'm like, "What?" In this bottom piece here, they're not here. They're out on my computer desk. If you guys have picked one of these up, because there's nothing says about it on the box. In here, there's like 4 or 5 weapons and 2 figure stands. So make sure you don't pull the figures out of the box and throw the packaging away without grabbing your extra accessories first.
There was a Black Series Han Solo exclusive a few years ago, and it came with an extra pointing hand because, Harrison Ford, he loves to point, right? It was hidden behind a part of the packaging. It was like the struts of the Millennium Falcon gangway. As it lowers down, they walk onto the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
The hand was packed behind one of those that was made out of cardboard in the package. A lot of people threw away that extra pointing hand.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
Was that the Minox set?
Yes, with the Minox. Yeah. They should make them dummy proof and just put there's extra parts in here. Open it up. Well, that's cool, man. You got some cool stuff. I got some
cool stuff.
I got some stuff to show here that I didn't show on the Laser Pants Live. Unless Bobby, you want to go first?
No. You go. I actually didn't pull anything aside, but Tony talked about kind of the one thing that was one of the coolest things that I got. But go ahead. You go ahead, Ryan.
Well, first, at Joefest, it was me, Bobby, Tony, and Sal running the Valaverse booth, selling figures, and there's a couple a couple times that me and Sal were able to break away and walk the show floor and pick up some stuff. And I swear, every time Sal walked away, he brought something back for me. And he's been watching the 3 POA, so he knew that these are figures that I had as a child that I really had a connection to. And the first one, Sal came back with a minty example of Monkey Wrench with his harpoon gun, this fork thing. But
his
I love
trident rifle, yeah.
Trident rifle. I love Monkey Wrench as a kid. I love this guy so much.
He was definitely the best Dreadnought.
Yeah. He also came back with a much less popular character, we'll say, but Night Creeper Leader. But these are all minty, nice, for nice solid joints. Nothing's loose at all. All the accessories came with it. I have them all. But Night Creeper Leader, one of my favorites as a kid. And this one kind of hurt because all the weapons were still on the sprues. It's called a sprue.
Yep.
But I took a couple weapons off to put in his hands for display. That's Bushido. So he watched the last 3 POA the 3 of us did together, where we were talking about, what figures we wanted to be brought forward into the classified line. So he heard me say that I love Bushido as a kid. I had this. I want this in classified. I love the samurai helmet. Even though he's trained as a ninja, Tony, I get it. It's not the best, but I love the figure as a kid. And so to Sal Vader, thank you so much, man. Very nice of you. And then we went to the Iconicon meetup at Second Chance Toys, and there was the swag bags, which if you went and you pre-ordered one, you got it at Second Chance Toys. And our buddy Matt Swafford of Reclaimers Vintage Toys threw a couple vintage toys in every swag bag, and I don't know their names because I
never got a swag bag. I was too busy.
Not only did I get like 4 homemade cookies from Melinda in that bag, but I got these 2 mask characters, and I don't know their names. Someone help me out. But that was in there from Matt Swafford, so that was very cool. Thank you. And then, of course, from Chris Smith, the Iconicon.
So good. I just put mine in my case today. He looks so good.
It's so good. Iconicon colored Boba Fett.
Yeah, I love it so much. I've put mine in an acrylic case. It's mine's going to stay in an acrylic case, and this is a figure that will never go in storage. It'll always be on display for me.
Yes, sir. So on the back of this card, we got Melinda, who is Scarlet Raven.
Scarlet Raven.
We got Sal, Sledgehammer Vader. We got Tony, Desert Rat Roberts.
Yeah, that was really difficult coming up with that code name.
Now look at this sexy beast right here. Ryan Laser Pants. I'm on an action figure package. I thought that was kind of cool. And then everyone else, we got Conrad Teabag Chambers, Matt Big Gun Swafford, Michael Straight Shooter French, Dan Mod Matrix Go, and Tim Banhammer Ward. This is awesome. Does he have any left on his website, Tony? Do you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So you can still get this.
Yeah, so I think there is a US website. I don't remember the name of that, but if you go to stansolocreations.co.uk, and it's probably stansolocreations.com for the US, I'm assuming. Yeah.
I think it's an Etsy store, isn't it?
No, he's actually selling on his own website. He hasn't.
Okay.
I think his business has become so well established now that he doesn't actually need Etsy anymore, and he finds Etsy quite frustrating for a number of things. So I think he's just going to be migrating to his own website, and that's going to be it. But these, I believe, are only sold on the website and not on the Etsy store. So,
all right, we do have some super chats here. I got Bradley's. We got one from A World Made of Cardboard. Thank you very much. He says, Bobby, what are you sorting? I'm curious.
I was sorting Action Force parts. I just had like a whole mess of parts that I bought some new tackle boxes for.
All right.
Do you know, 2 weeks ago when I was in the States, just before 4th of July, me and Bobby had a few. I had a really late night on the Friday with Michael and Matt Swafford, so I had like 3 hours sleep and then had to get the plane. So me and Bobby are hanging out in the office watching the UFC, and I ended up like passing out in the office chair. Like Bobby's pretty much watching the UFC on his own while I'm snoring.
So I'm going to talk about that for a minute.
Go for
it. Finish what you're saying.
But Bobby spent like 3 hours sorting out Action Force parts. Like he had like these fishing tackle boxes, and it was like, you know, all the rifles here, all the pistols here, hands by different colors. He spent hours doing it, and he did all of it. I've now watched him on this stream, and I'm thinking that's what he's doing. I was like, has he created another mess? Did he tip all these boxes out just so he had to sort them all out again?
No, it was. I like things really, really organized. Like I'm really anal about things. So it's like I was just putting like rifles in certain ones so that all these rifles are in there with all the correct magazines and stuff. And it's like, you know, I just like to, you know, be a little more, you know, I have a lot of people that send me messages like, hey, I could use an extra one of these, or I need one of these, or maybe a box was missing a part. And it's just easy to go and grab that part when it's so organized.
Yep.
But I want to talk about that night for a second here, because the whole time you were here, that was the one night where you really let me down. You guys got to understand, Tony and I have spent many UFCs on our laptops watching, you know, together, but not together. The one time he's in the States, there's a UFC pay-per-view on while he's here, and it's a great card. We went out. Was that the day we got tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got tattoos, went out for some drinks, some food, and we're like, shit, we got it. You know, we were watching, you know, the undercard at Buffalo Wild Wings, and then we're like, all right, let's go back to the office. We'll watch the main card. Get back, and I'm amped, ready to go for this pay-per-view. He's like, hey man, want a beer? I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, we had a bunch of drinks. I'm like, I'm good for now. I'm sorting my parts, getting ready for the pay-per-view. He comes back with his beer, and he sits down at the other side. I'm on this side, and he sits down at the other side of the conference room table. Within 30 seconds, he's out sawing wood. He never even opened the beer. That's how quick it was. He said, hey, man, you want a beer? He went to the fridge. He got a beer. He came back, put the beer on the table. He sat down. He kind of put his feet up on a chair, and he was out instantly. And I'm like, this motherfucker.
And he gave me a hard time for falling asleep early at Joefest.
The one time we can watch UFC together, and it's a great card, and he's
naked.
Out. And there were times where he would wake up. He would wake up and act like he was still kind of with it, and he'd like look, and then he'd go like this, and then he'd be out, immediately out, like, and then he'd fall back asleep. And it was a couple times he got up and he actually like had a cigarette, but then he like came back and then he was out again. And then like, so I'm like taking pictures of, I'm taking pictures of him, sending it to Grace, sending it to our group chat. I'm like, this motherfucker. The one time.
That's awesome.
One time.
I was supposed to fly to Rhode Island the day before. My flight got cancelled, so I ended up having another night in Atlanta. And the like 3 or 4 nights in a row before that, my birthday was on the Thursday, and we didn't even go out for dinner. We just ordered takeaway because there was always someone who was going to be on an Iconicon stream. It was always busy. So on that Friday, Matt Swafford's driving me to the airport when my flight gets cancelled. So I turn around and come back. And basically, I think Melinda finished a stream around 7 o'clock, and then they had no one in the house had anything else planned. So they're like, hey, we haven't had a chance to take you out into Woodstock. Let's take you out into Woodstock. Now, if you watch my video recap of Joefest, there's that video of me, Michael French, Tim Ward, and Matt Swafford going, America, fuck yeah, and drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
That was at like midnight on the Friday, and Michael drove me to the airport at 3 a.m. in the morning to go back to see Pop.
So you were running.
I feel
low
terrible,
on sleep.
Bobby. I feel really
should.
bad.
You should. Listen, the funny thing is, so I'm sitting here, and you guys can hear I was trying to be quiet on the stream, but I was probably really annoying. You can hear
You were
me
really
snorting
loud.
hard. So I was super fucking loud doing it while he's sleeping, and he's not even moving. I'm trying to be like obnoxiously loud, moving things around, banging into the table. And I'm just like, this guy, for real? There's a Dunkin' Donuts next door. Like, you would think he should have got a coffee or something like that. I couldn't believe how amped I was for like to watch this pay-per-view.
Bobby Collins says desert nap.
I should take that picture and put it on a shirt and put desert nap.
And just have him Deseret reacts. That's the next one. You just keep. You're like a narcolepsy.
I'm gonna show everyone this picture.
Oh yes, please. I'll full screen you.
It's so good. Well, no, I'm gonna show you. Just look.
Oh man, just
wow! Look,
chin in the throat.
Look, the beer isn't even open. He's just out. Out.
Dang.
Done.
Yep.
All right, we got some super chats I gotta get to. Keith Knight, thank you so much, man. He says the Desert Rat documentary just had to be on Iconicon. I will be watching it again with a RAMC Iraq vet tomorrow. Superb film. Very cool.
That's Royal Army Medical Corps, for those who don't know the acronym.
Thank you very much, Keith. We got one from what is going on with this stupid StreamYard? This thing sucks, man.
Cobra Saboteur?
I'm looking for it. Thank you.
I've got it.
He says, hey guys, just go ahead.
Hey guys, just tuned in and have to leave. We'll catch the repo, but wanted to jump in to say one final time. I had a blast at my first Joefest, and it was a pleasure meeting you three, Sal, Scuba, etc. And Cobra Saboteur. This might come out weird, but it was really awesome meeting your mum as well, because she was a riot, man. She was awesome.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
Yeah, Cobra Saboteur's mom and dad were awesome, and the fact that he is a grown man, he doesn't live at home with his parents, but they are a tight-knit family who...
Yeah. His parents were fans of the whole thing as well, and she watches us on YouTube. So
and it's something that he still, his parents are grown. He's grown. They're all, but the fact that they share this hobby together was like mind-blowing to me. I thought that was really cool, and they were all there. Yeah. They're all fans of Action Force. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, nice meeting you too, Cobra Saboteur.
Disposable Rat, thank you for the super chat. It says the mask figures are Buddy, Clutch Hawk, and Julio Lopez. Buddy came with Boulder Hill, and Julio came with Firefly. Those are great figures.
Which one is which?
The purple jacket is Buddy Hawk.
Okay, cool.
I have him because I have Boulder Hill, but I don't have Julio because I don't have the Firefly.
All right.
John Papa Sergio, thank you. He says, Tony, I think Mattel used your likeness for the Jurassic Park Amber Collection Muldoon figure.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see it a little bit. Like if they gave Muldoon a beard.
I'm not familiar with the figure, but I'm familiar with the character in the first movie. And
let's just say Mattel isn't great with likenesses. I think
a 6-inch figure.
They're actually like 7-inch, but yeah.
Okay.
I think Muldoon looks more like Tony and the actor.
I gotta find that figure.
Yeah. Well, at least he didn't say that I look like Jeff Goldblum. Matt Movie 611, thank you. He said, great weekend, good memories made. P.S. Hi, Dad.
Hi, son. Still don't love you. And Tony Robles.
Thank you. This is a Desert Nap version 2.
No. Yes, sir.
Look, to the audience, I've just got to say that, Bobby's right. When you meet me in person, I am a massive letdown.
Not at all. I disagree.
I know we've been going a long time and we probably need to wrap this up, but real quick, I'm doing a giveaway for my Patreon. So I'm just going to put this photo up here. I asked people on Patreon to caption this photo, and I got over 30 responses. I'm not going to read them all out, so I've come up with a short list. I'm going to read out these captions, and then I'm going to let Bobby Valar choose what he thinks is the funniest caption, and the winner will get this sealed, classified Python Patrol Viper that was kindly came from Hasbro, and I'll ship this to that patron anywhere in the world. So, real quick, these are the short lists of the captions. So, first of all, this is Desert Rat talking to F-Bomb. He says, F-Bomb, did you switch out those mushrooms in the fridge? The next caption is, next on Desert Rat's Wild Kingdom, Animals of the Toy Aisle. Again, we've got Desert Rat talking to F-Bomb here. He says, F-Bomb, are you sure this is a line to clear US Customs? This next patron has said, this year's Iconicon meetup got a little out of hand.
That's good.
This patron says, just another day in Australia. We got two more to go. So this one is, damn it, Bobby. I agreed to hide and seek, but this is just ridiculous. and this last one, I think this is my personal favorite, but I need to sing the caption, and I'm not a great singer, so bear with me. Fly like an eagle. I can't sing. Fly like an eagle. Let my tauntaun carry me. So what do you think, Bobby? What was the funniest one?
I'm torn between two.
I deliberately didn't read out the names of the patrons, so there was no bias going on here.
I'm gonna go with the mushrooms one.
The mushrooms one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Well, that's a good choice, and I'm really pleased because I mentioned earlier in this stream that he spent a lot of money at the Valaverse booth. That was M Vargo 97.
Oh, cool!
Awesome.
So, being such a great customer of Action Force, I think it's awesome that he's going to get something for free. So, M Vargo, if you're still watching, send me your postal address on a private message on Patreon. If you're not still watching, I will message you after the stream and I'll get your address and I'll send you this sealed Python Patrol Viper figure. Well done.
All right, now I'm going to get to one super chat really quick, and then we're going to talk about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Oh.
So, Wolfie762, thank you very much. He says, awesome meeting all you guys. Fantastic stream today. Tony, glad Bobby didn't Sharpie a Cobra Mickey Mouse logo on your forehead. Very true. Thank you, Wolfie.
I should have drew a big dick on your forehead.
I mean, you have.
I'm surprised when you sent that photo to Grace, unless maybe with the time difference, she would have been at work or something. I'm surprised Gracie didn't tell you, because that's what she does to me when I fall asleep places. Oh. I wake up with dicks on my face. She draws the top of a thong coming out the top of my jeans, and
I love Gracie so much more now.
Man, that's awesome. Grace, I even sent her the picture. You think she would have? Oh man, I can't believe she didn't say. I would have tortured you. You know, right. You know what I
would have slept through it.
What I should have done was I should have walled you in with all boxes of Action Force stuff. Just shut the light, shut the door, and just left you here that night.
All right, so
before
I get to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, I just want to say one more thing. At Iconicon, I got one more thing, and that is this trophy right here. Iconicon 2022, you smashed the competition, and indeed I did. But the competition, it wasn't much. It was just Tony. But I destroyed him, and I can now proudly say that Iconicon 2021, I destroyed Bobby, and Iconicon 2022, I destroyed Desert Rat. So I have this trophy. Thanks, guys, for not being as good as me.
What a dick.
All right, now on.
Is he stopped waffling shit now, Bobby? Can I come back yet? I had to step out for a moment there.
I wish my sound effects board was going because I had a song to play and I was going to put these on.
Look, I do have to say, Ryan, like don't get that. Actually, no. Where are your other spectacles? I'm offended that I wasn't. Yeah.
Get my spectacles on now. I can read the back of this.
I love it when you wear those and you haven't worn it for this. No, I think the combination of you winning that trophy and getting the channel monetized in the same week really went to your head. So,
yeah,
you know.
It did. Yeah. Good thing I have a big head already.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as a thank you to everyone who has subscribed and for... we want to give something away. I have something to give away. Bobby, you have something to give away. Is that right?
Sure.
Okay. Now, what I'm giving, I'm not just going to pick some Marvel Legends or Black Series Peg Warmer or G.I. Joe Classified Viper. So I decided. I'm kidding. Tony, I'm kidding. Really? I'm getting that look.
Bro, I am completely sidetracked by someone in the show. Thanks, mods.
I didn't even see it. I did not even see it. Okay.
Yeah, Scott, can we block him, please? Wow.
Weird. Okay.
Yep.
First, Justin Bryant, thank you so much. Tony is the next Joe Exotic in that picture. What a weirdo. Okay. Not you, Justin. Not you. Thank you very much for that super chat. So I want to give something away very nice. And so I happen to have this. Don't really need it. So I'm going to pass it on to one of our subscribers. And that is this SH Figure Arts MCU Deadpool. Yeah, I said MCU. We all know what's happening. So This will be given away to one lucky subscriber. And then Bobby, what do you have?
Let's see. Guess I can pull one out of this bag here.
Ooh, what is that?
What we got in here? Goldhead Steel Brigade.
Ooh, very nice. So one lucky winner will receive the SH Figure Arts Deadpool and a gold Steel Brigade head. Now, we are not pulling a winner tonight. Here's how you will enter this giveaway. When the stream is done, in the comments below, not in the live chat, in the comments below, you will put hashtag 3POA 1000. 1000. Hashtag 3POA 1000. On our next show, I will have a comment picker, a random comment picker, and I will pick one lucky winner who will receive a gold Steel Brigade head and this SH Figure Arts Deadpool. I think those are pretty good prizes myself.
I think they're awesome prizes. And if people put hashtag analog toys 38,000, they will win Ryan's soul.
Okay. That's pretty good. So I put the hashtag in the live chat so you all see it. 3POA 1000. 3POA 1000. Put that in the comments below, not in the live chat. So tune in 2 weeks when the 3POA is back. We will pull a winner for the 1000 subscriber giveaway. You guys have anything else you want to add before we end this stream?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back, man.
Yeah. Nice to see you awake.
Nice to see you with that shirt on again, man. I should have worn mine. Bobby got us really cool, like army green Action Force shirts. Dang, if I was a smarter person, I would have had it on. But thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Follow Bobby on Valaverse everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tony, obviously, Analog Toys on YouTube, at Real Desert Rat on Instagram. Analog Toys on Facebook. Follow me, LaserPants81 on Instagram, 3POA_podcast on Instagram, and 3POA podcast on Facebook. And until next time, we will see you later. Bye, everyone.
See ya.